It is Friday night in Phoenix, and you're listening to the Absolute Geek Podcast. My name is Matt.
I'm clicking Jose.
What?
I'm Brian.
I'm Jose.
We got two Jose's tonight. We got Clicking Jose and Regular Jose.
Yes. I'm regular Jose. Hold on.
No, there's Regular Jose. So what's going on, guys? Back at it again, fresh off of Phoenix Fan Fusion.
What a crazy weekend, man.
Episode 199.
To say the least, it was an interesting weekend.
Oh my god, the music.
It was a very interesting weekend. What music, Jose?
The fucking music that they were playing at the con.
I didn't hear any music at the convention.
I didn't hear any music either.
Are you talking
Everybody
about?
clapped when it turned off. It was so loud.
I don't know. I was too busy repping the podcast. What were you doing?
I was at the con.
So did you only go one day, Jose?
No, I went Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Did
So
you do anything other than get your books signed and ruining your books?
I know what he did there.
I went to some panels, and then I bought some metal straws.
Wow, it sounded like fucking. That was definitely worth being there for 4 days.
That was worth all the hard work we put in every week for you to get a free pet pass to go buy some fucking straws.
Dude, you beat me to it, Brian. I had like 6 things. I was like Rolodexing through my head of what I wanted to say. It's just like, out of all that,
The panels were pretty cool, though.
This is the time I wish I had the road already, so that way I could have a fucking clapping sound effect in there for when Jose's like, I bought some straws, so you can just have a fucking clapping
what you need
sound
to do
effect.
is we need to play him out when he does stuff like that.
Yeah.
You know, like
I didn't take long.
like in Family Guy where the
Yeah.
That's all if I take long. I didn't take long.
No.
What was your guys' overall thoughts?
It sucked.
It's not a Comic-Con anymore, and it's not I don't think it deserves the right to be called a comic convention anymore.
I don't think that's why it is. I think it's why it's called Phoenix Fan Fusion.
It's called Phoenix Fan Fusion because he didn't want to get sued.
Yeah.
If he wasn't going to get sued, he probably would never change the name.
Probably
But
not.
yes, it's not a comic book convention anymore. It's a vendor slash
Slinging.
celebrity con. Yes.
Yeah, it's definitely turned into the exact thing that comic people don't want.
Yep.
I mean, we get that it has to make money. And
Everything's just way too expensive. I mean, I was looking at books. Some books were decent priced, but those were just really expensive books that they know that they have to price at the normal price in order to sell, right?
yeah,
I think the cheapest was Ed Robertson.
Some of the other books were just so fucking expensive. It was unreal. And that was everybody. And I get it. They don't want to lose money, but man, it's almost double the cost of what normal, GPA or Facebook or eBay, Facebook, whatever you're selling it on. It's normal. That's about the normal cost. And they double it. And it drives me crazy. So, you have to go out and search and with the other, 2,000 people that are going to be there that weekend for stuff to find hidden treasure, and you're not going to find it anymore. Well, you might get lucky, but it's not as fun as it used to be for me, at least. I don't know. You guys know my thoughts on cons lately. They've been slowly disappointing over the past, 2-3 years. So
like I kept gravitating towards all the boxes, and start digging through them. I found one box and I pulled out. It was a Teen Titans 44. Beat the shit.
yeah.
$60.
Oh my god.
Like it was probably, I would say, like maybe a 6.5.
Wow.
Like it was beat to shit and it had a price tag of $60 on it. And I was like, and fucking drop that motherfucker right back in the wherever I got it from.
I got a funny story. This guy was trying just to offload his books on the last day of the show. And the day before he had put everything as half price. And then I think like he just finally at the end of the day, you could tell I think it was a Phoenix Card Supply. So they were a baseball card shop, not a comic shop. So it looks like they just got some books and they figured they could sell them or something. And by the last day, they just put everything as $1. So I got 52 books, and he goes, $52. I go, we take 50? He goes, no. And I'm
what?
Like, what? I almost felt like walking away, just because I was just like, dude, I got a $50 bill. You're gonna, that's fine. You're gonna be the one breaking it, or breaking another 50, whatever you want to, over $2, whatever. But that was the perfect moment where I just went, man, this has really turned into something that I don't enjoy anymore.
It's a hard realization that kind of happened. So
I enjoyed it.
There was a couple really good things. I'm talking about comic book. I'm talking about comic book digging. Other than that, one of the most amazing things happened for me. You guys all know about that. I was very lucky, and the guys, really, really did me a solid and got me an interview with, one of my all-time favorite creators. And I talk about him a lot on the show, and that's Neil Adams. So, I can't say that it was a bad con because that happened.
Dude, in all honesty, that you were the only person in my mind to do that interview. When we had the interview offered to us, he took us over to Neil's wife, and she was like, well, maybe we can do a phone interview. He doesn't do Skype, yada, yada. I was like, yeah, cool, whatever. And she was like, all right, well, come on, let's go meet Neil. And we got there. He's like, you want to do the interview now? And I was like, she was like, the con's going to close. He's like, so what? Do you want to do the interview now? And I was like, no, we'll wait. He was like, well, you guys can come back tomorrow if you want. I was like, yeah, we'll do tomorrow, because the guy I want to do the interview, who's a huge fan, isn't with us right now. And that's who I really wanted to sit down with you and talk to you. And he was like, all right, that's fine, but he better bring good questions.
Yeah, that kind of scared me.
But
dude, he was real adamant about that. Like you could tell he was dead fucking serious.
Yeah, he's a no nonsense guy though. So
yep. And I knew that. Everybody that's a fan of his and that knows who Neil Adams is, just a little bit knows that's what he's all about. So that was amazing. That was fucking cool as hell. The other thing that I really enjoyed, I enjoyed hanging out with my friends. I enjoyed hanging out with you guys. I enjoyed hanging out with the other guys that we've met, Corbin and Lance, and seeing those guys. Met a couple new guys that, the Fireside Chat guys. I'd never met them before. I got to check out their podcast.
Whoa. What are you doing right now?
Just throwing it out there, man.
All I got to say is those dudes have the best podcast theme song intro.
Yeah. I didn't get a chance. I didn't get a chance to hang out on Saturday just because I was so bummed out with how bad it was that I didn't even want to go Saturday. I think I talked on Friday. Me and Matt and Lance and Tyler, was that his name? That was the first time I met Tyler, I think.
Yeah.
We went and got something to eat, and I was like, I don't think I'm coming back tomorrow. This is just not what I was hoping.
Well, on the Friday, speaking of that real quick, big shout out to creator of the mall.
Yes.
And Scout Comics, Don Hanfield, for hooking us up with I know you get the big $10 sticker there, but he actually hooked us up with the first issue of his comic, The Mall, for free.
And nice. Did you see where that just got optioned?
No.
Yeah. How cool was that? He knew that book was getting optioned. And, he handed us for each free copies, multiple books. He handed us each a couple books. And that was really cool to talk to that dude. That dude's a really cool dude. He's in.
Isn't there another comic called The Mall?
No. I don't think so.
I think
what was that shark comic you bought, Brian?
I'll go grab it here in a
Battle
second.
Shark or something like that.
Yeah. I got that for one of my buddies on flip side, he buys shark comics for his kids. So
I'm gonna add that out on another podcast, Redacted.
Yeah. So anyways, like that was really cool. And that dude really kicks it at the low level. He talks to a lot of the guys that are on the lower level, and he's just a cool dude, and he's a fan. He's a comic fan. He's been, here's throw out another podcast, the Unpressable Group. He's been on their show.
Look at him just going through the list.
Here.
My
turn.
Yeah.
Everybody, here you go.
Yeah. Well, that's just how I know him, and
Brian's really getting into that community.
Yeah.
Why don't we throw about 6 more podcasts?
Yeah.
And then we'll keep going.
He needs to meet his quota.
Well, that's why we were there, right? I mean, we were.
Oh, that's exactly why we were there.
Yeah. So, we were there to
mingle and tingle.
Yep.
I just want to point out that Brian does not have a squirt right now. He is drinking a delicious ice cold Dr. Pepper.
Yes, sir.
The cherry one or the regular one?
Oh, cherry, bro. You don't fuck around with Dr. Pepper.
Cherry's so good.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
No, so where did it get optioned?
That's a good question. I just
Miramax.
Yeah.
Those Miramax
classic films.
Yeah. Like the crying game.
And it's a really good idea. I mean, it's about basically like, it's kind of like mob influenced, and it's just a really cool book. And it's really cool to see a lot of these independent books getting optioned left and right, more than we've ever seen. The popularity of Umbrella Academy and what that did really has opened up the doors for a lot of these non-image books to get optioned and actually see it towards the end, see it a filmed, finished product. So
the keyboard sucks, Jose.
Another book that just got that we've kind of known about, but we just saw the trailer, was The Kitchen, right? That was a comic that has been out for a while. That's so if any of you guys out there got that book, throw it up on eBay. So
yeah, but we had a nice conversation with him, and it was cool that he pretty much said the same thing we've been saying all along, is that for a Comic-Con, there really wasn't very much comic representation.
Yeah.
And he was like, I walked this entire convention, and there's like shit for comics. And I was like, yep.
Yeah, it was sad. It was really sad. And I think, Matt, you might have brought this up. They did something weird where they didn't have the artist alley, and you have like these artists speckled in between these, shirt dealers and print dealers and a comic guy.
That was super annoying to me.
So instead of normally like where they have like they usually have an artist alley, and at the end of the hall, at the very end of the hall, like the 1900s, that's usually where like all the knick-knack dealers are, like the jewelry dealers and stuff like that. But now this year it was like artist jewelry dealer, artist knick-knack dealer, artist jewelry dealer. So it was like artist and vendor, artist vendor, artist vendor, and the artist alley. And it made it super hard to try and figure out where you were.
Yeah.
And like I was looking for someone to get a book signed for like an hour, because one, it said he was there, but his name wasn't in the program.
No way you looked for an hour.
No, I did.
Go ahead.
His name was in the program to be there, or his name was there announced, but he wasn't in the program, so they didn't have a booth location for him. He was in between two jewelry dealers, and that's why I couldn't find him, because I just looked past it. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'm just gonna go up and down every aisle until I find something, until I find him," and that's what I did, and I finally found him. But it was just like it was a nightmare trying to navigate it and trying to find it.
Yeah, it was a little funky how they had it set up this year.
But we got to hang out with like Brian said, I got to hang out with Corbin from Comic Playground, who's been on the show a couple times and he's in the chat right now. Big shout out to Corbin. Got to hang out with Lance, and it was nice to meet the other two dudes from Couch Crunchers, Tyler and can't remember the other guy. That's Sam, who was on our show, the guy who did Ninja Warrior.
Oh yeah,
that was a cool dude.
Yeah.
It was cool to hang out with them and get to meet. Big shout out to Ken Brown from Drawn to Comics and Adonis from Comic Book Playground for rocking our stickers.
And I can't say enough about Ken. Ken really did I think, a really good job. And I actually had a really good time. That was one of the people that I had a really good time with. So, shout out to Ken Brown, Drawn to Comics.
Yeah, he
I was just there today.
Solid come through with that interview, man. Like, I wasn't expecting that. He didn't have to do that, but it was dope that he did.
No, and I really appreciate it, Ken. If you get a chance to watch us, thank you, man. Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, everybody. That was
not Jose.
I don't even know if Jose was there. Was Jose there?
No.
Yeah, but shout out to Jose.
I saw someone who looked like Jose, but he wasn't wearing any Absolute Geek merch, so I didn't know if these are or not.
These were the this is the other book that. Here we go. Metal Shark Bro.
Oh, Metal Shark is what it was.
Yeah, and it just seemed like a really cool cover to send him. So that'll be on its way. And like Matt said, the mall, that was really cool. The first day, I only walked out with one book other than those two books out of everything that I looked at. And it was he's a mainstay in the cons, Elvine's Comics. Really cool dude. I was just chit-chatting with him, and we were talking, and I brought up Dave Stevens. He's like, dude, I think I got a Dave Stevens signed book. And I'm like, really? And he pulled it out, and this is Alien Worlds by Dave. The cover by Dave Stevens from 1982. And for those of you guys that don't know, Dave Stevens is probably the most underrated cover artist or comic artist, in my opinion, of all time. And he passed away quite a few years ago. But as you can see right there,
I like how they have two arrows pointed to it.
Yeah, well, he signed it in ballpoint pen. So
I was gonna say that's what it looked like, ballpoint pen.
Yeah, so you can't really tell if the autograph is there unless you get showed, But that was really cool to walk away the first day with that. Did you guys pick anything up that first day?
All I bought was a T-shirt, and like I bought a new Dragon Ball statue throughout the convention, and this awesome now Absolute Geek mug.
What a great idea that was for that company. I mean, they must have been the hit of the con, right? That to me, that was. I talked about it on podcast, but that to me, that was so cool that idea. And
you buy an expensive cup and you get free refills the entire time you're there.
Well, considering water or anything there was $4. $4 for a 20-ounce soda.
Yep.
So I mean, it was worth it for all if you're going all fucking 4 days.
And it was really good, from what I hear. Really good product. I mean, So
I tried. Yeah, the root beer was good. Their sarsaparilla was good, and their cream soda was really good.
I wish I would have bought one. I didn't see it. Really look at it till the last day, and I just thought to myself, wow, what a great idea that was. So shout out to whoever they are. I don't know their name.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Kyle, did you get anything?
The only thing I bought was the Batman 232 Neil Adams print and had him sign it. That's it. That's all I bought. It's just when I was at his booth and I was looking, and I was like, man. I even went back to him. I said, God damn, Neil. I was like, you fucking are the cover art man. I was like, it's like badass cover, badass cover, badass cover. And you know what he did? He looked at me. We made eye contact. Two good seconds. He just smiled.
Yeah, I mean,
you're best friend now?
Yeah, we're best friends.
I'll show you what I got from him. Here, let me present. And then Kyle could tell you the story about how, Neil was happy to sign it and dedicate it to me, but then proceeded to talk shit on the show. So I got this from him.
Oh, wow. Wow.
To Matt, signed by him.
That's fucking cool.
Yeah.
But he proceeded to talk to us about how he hates The Walking Dead.
He's like, he said, how does anybody die in that show? Those things are so slow and so stupid. How can they kill you? You could hear them coming a mile away. They're not sneaky. Like, he just went on this rant about it.
Yeah.
And I was just like, you're You have solid points, sir.
Yes.
But real quick with that, since we're on that subject, next week is our 200th episode. Next Friday morning, I've already queued it up. Next Friday morning at 4 a.m. Arizona time. That's 7 a.m. East Coast time. Brian's interview with Neil Adams will go live. So you'll be able to see it you'll be able to get it on YouTube and audioly through all of wherever you get your podcast. Audioly.
I like that. I like that.
So Neil was kind enough that since Kyle and I bought 2 prints, he technically had a deal where if you buy 2 prints, you get a third one free. But because Kyle and I were together and we both bought a print, he was like,
just
all right,
friends, though. We're just friends.
Yeah. He was like, I'll give you the 3rd print for free. Go ahead and get it. So we did, and we're deciding to give it as a giveaway. So we haven't worked out the details yet on how we're going to do the giveaway. So we'll announce that next week on the 200th episode. But tune in next week to find out how you have your chance to win probably one of the most iconic covers in all of comics. The Green Lantern, Green Arrow, Speedy, shooting heroin cover. And I'm glad we chose this one because it has a significance to your interview that you do with them. I'll let people listen to that on their own. But it is signed by Neil Adams. That is a legit
that's
signature.
What the contest should be.
What?
We'll do like we'll throw out. So Brian said this to Neil Adams, and what was his response? And
we can do that. Yeah.
And then someone has to like write it in or somehow send it to us so that they know, and then that's how they get put into. We'll do it like as a trivia,
like a timestamp thing.
Yeah, like you have to know the answer to the question.
Yeah.
It's
why was this important or something like that?
Something that you asked that he answered. Did a couple questions about that interview.
Yeah.
And that's what I think that's a good idea.
But yeah, so you have a chance to win a print signed of one of the most iconic covers. It's signed by Mr. Neil Adams.
Yeah.
So
big thank you to Neil and his wife. Yeah, can't say enough.
So that'll go. We'll announce that next week and the rules for it and how you get a chance to win that.
You know, somebody's gonna ask.
What?
Is it authentic?
It is authentic.
You know, somebody's gonna ask.
Well, they can ask all they want. It is authentic.
Yeah. Don't look the horse in the mouth.
Right? It's not like you're going to sell it on eBay anyways.
Yeah, exactly. Just a print.
They're big prints though too. Like
it's a big city.
I'll have to go to a big city.
They're big, beautiful prints. I mean,
yeah. I'm going to get mine framed.
I'm too.
I told him, you know, a lot of his prints now, he was so smart that in doing this. I think that Neil, a lot of people don't think Neil's recent art may have been his best. I disagree. I think that the colorist and the inking and everything that is different. I mean, Neil hasn't changed. And if you look at his pencil art, it is immaculate. I mean, that Walking Dead print you can see alone, absolutely beautiful, gorgeous. All his pencil art is unreal. A couple times fans would come up to get stuff signed, and a lot of things that I was seeing was his pencil art trades of, the Neil Adams fan trade, from the 70s or 80s, and it's a lot of pencil art, and his pencil art is unbelievable. And if you look at his pencil art for some of his most recent covers, it looks so much better. And I'm not saying that to harp on anybody else. I just really think that there's certain artists that their pencil art should be seen more than not, and Neil's one of them.
Yeah.
Oh. Corbin says in the chat, "Oh man, I spent mad money that first day, dude. Every time I ran into Corbin in the without being like, hey, what's up? Where are you? He was always going through comic boxes.
Yeah, he told me he found a couple.
That kid was on his knees, digging through comic boxes.
He said he went trade crazy, and yeah. I know exactly that feeling. The first year and second year I went to San Diego, I went trade crazy. And, back then it was still a good time for Comic Cons, and you could find trades for a quarter of the price. And I'm sure that's what the exact same thing Corbin was doing. Just, oh, look, I can get this story here. I can get this, whole run here. And I know exactly that feeling.
I remember those days, but I'm too old and too fat for that now.
I know. Big shout out to Ed Robertson. I don't know if this is the first time he's done it. It's definitely the first time I've noticed. No boxes on the ground. So
Yes.
I skip all those every time. Any dealer out there, don't put boxes on the ground. I won't. Majority of people won't look at them. And for the people out there that do see boxes on the ground, go through them, because the majority of the people won't go through them. I know that there's probably hidden treasure in there.
Yeah,
but
there
I'm
is.
too fat, and my knees are destroyed by getting down on the ground. I'm not going to do it. So plus I've got chronic plumber's ass, and that doesn't help.
I'm gonna start.
There's this one booth that just has like variant covers,
Chronic plumber's ass.
like a big booth, and they're all like taped. They have these boxes on the ground, and the variants are like $3 or something like that.
Yeah.
They have the best variants that are hard to find sometimes.
Yeah, I wish I'd have known about that, because that's like the treasure of the con.
That's where I go every single time. That booth, every single year.
Every booth I went to dig through comics, I was digging through them, and I was just like, nothing. And everything you could tell in a lot of the boxes that were out, you could tell that they had already been
through.
I don't know if they were picked over before they even got to the floor, but it just seemed like everything had just been like.
One of the crazy things is, and I think you're right, Kyle. And here's the crazy thing: like where Ken and the Comic Playground guys were, right there in that front lobby area, there was a couple other guys that were set up that had tables. And that's where that Phoenix Card Supply guy was set up. And he had all those comics for $1. And I think it was just people didn't realize he was there. And I remember we were waiting for Ken and me and Matt. And I was like, I'm just going to go check out this booth. And I walked over there and I started going through them. I'm like, holy shit. And I knew I'm getting ready to go interview Neil Adams. But I'm going through books of that are $1 a piece that have price tags on them of $35. And I'm like, and yeah, maybe they would have been high, but I'll show you some of the examples. But I was like, I even told Matt, I'm like, I'm walking away from. I mean, rightfully so. I'm getting ready to interview Neil Adams, but like, I'm walking away. I put books back that I knew were killer books. They're going to be gone when I come back, just because I didn't have the time to go through the rest. So
I'm sitting here like, is this kid fucking kidding me right now? Like,
I know
he's sitting here digging through books and he's got Neil Adams waiting on him.
But here's a reason why. Here's an example of I don't know if you can. I'm going to present myself real quick,
because you have a problem, and you can see by the background you have a problem.
Yes, and here's the type of books that I found. Ghost Rider #3, like right. Ghost Rider, not just #3, #4, #5.
Didn't you find #1?
#6. Nope, everything but 2. I found 1 or 3 through 10 $1 a piece, right? So that's that. I mean, that's a score in itself. Then I found Goon #2. I found 2 of those for $1. Found this. I mean, these books are starting to heat up, these like zombie variants.
Mm-hmm.
Found that for $1. I found Darkness #1 for $1. I pick these up every time I see them. These Damian, Son of Batman runs. The Kubert covers are just beautiful. Yep. For $1. I found Batman, Superman #1 for $1. And they even have the price tags on them. Like, this is a lot of people don't realize this cover right here. This is a variant to this cover. It's a black and white variant, and I think it's like it's the RIA cover, and that's a tough cover to get. And they had a huge box of G.I. Joe stuff. They had the variant for #1, the Snake Eyes variant. And then I picked up 5 of these.
That's the same dude?
Same dude, 5 of these for $1 a piece. People don't realize what they are. So a lot of people do, but for those, I'll give you guys some free cornbread. This in it.
I like cornbread.
Yes, we all love cornbread. If you don't love cornbread, I don't trust you.
Jeez.
So
A little butter.
yeah. So for those of you, that's why that book is a big preview of the first Invincible. So I picked up every single one. I picked up 5 of them for $1. There was a whole run of Guardians of the Galaxy. The first
Original one?
No, not the original one. The original one from the movie. So Chris Pratt, first Star-Lord run, that whole
Evans.
run. Yeah. I picked up that whole run for $1 a piece for up to like issue 30, right? And I just picked it up because it was there. He
had a fat stack and he's like, hold on, I have an interview I got to go do. I'll be right back. And asked the guy to hold him.
He did though, didn't he?
Well, I shouldn't have done that because when he held them, I came back and some of the biggest books that I found were not in there. That first Donny Cates, that really expensive Donny Cates Venom one. Mm-hmm. There were a couple copies of that. That's like a $30 book, if I remember correctly. This is a badass Michael Turner cover. A lot of people don't know about. And it's a really famous G.I. Joe character called Wraith. That's a really tough book. And then there was a lot of Deadpool stuff. And a ton of Venom, that popular stuff. But this is a type of Deadpool stuff. I mean, look, that's for $1. They had all the variants for the Deadpool stuff, all the older issues of the Deadpool cable run, the early Scotty Young stuff.
Those are cool.
Yeah. I got the first 5 issues of Deadpool Corps, which is like I think that's like got a couple first appearances. A lot of the original run, the Deadpool X-Force run, old school Power Man and Iron Fist. I mean, these are all $1. You can't beat these. Black Panther versus the Ku Klux Klan, the Marvel premiere issues for $1. So, like Matt said, I walked away with a nice stack of books. And was really happy. Here's another really good one. I don't know if this is a big variant, but it's a variant, and it's the Batman Cacophony run. So,
I didn't see that. That's sick.
If you want it, it's yours, dude. So,
dope.
Adam Kubert,
Smith,
Adam Kubert variant. So, but yeah, so that's about all I picked up, and it was all on the last day. Literally, 20 minutes, 30 minutes before I left the con, Matt?
Yeah.
No.
There was another vendor. He was over by Collector's Marketplace. He had all the boxes on the table, and like at the back by the artist out there were all boxes with books that had they weren't bagged and board or nothing. They were in there. I had a total Brody moment from Mallrats. I was like, these books need bags and boards, you savages. I walked away from that booth madder than Lance after his meeting with Fireside.
That's why I shout you guys out.
Grizzle Geeks. I like cornbread.
Yeah.
Chat like cornbread. But
sorry.
I would say it was just cool seeing everyone and getting to meet like the STS guys and some of the other local podcasts that we haven't met yet. And it's good to see who's all out there in the community.
Schwingle and mingle.
Yep.
Hey, this is what I picked up, Brian.
Take it back and turn it to the angle.
Take it back and get a new camera.
Yeah.
No one can see in your sex dungeon.
Oh yeah, that's dope.
Yeah.
That one, and I got this one also.
Mighty Thor.
Nice.
What issue of Thor is that?
It's number 154.
Nice.
I got it for $3 from Ed.
Nice.
Looks like it's beat to shit.
Yeah, I saw one of the coolest things out of the whole con that I've seen is your sketch, your Beetlejuice sketch.
Oh my gosh, so awesome.
I couldn't believe how good that, and that guy's local. That's the guy who did that. Yeah, he was going to be, we were going to interview him, right? Does that sound right?
Who did it?
Go ahead, Jose.
I don't know if we were interviewing them.
Who
the guy that
did
wrote
it?
That comic about the villains, the little kids, the villains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Armid did it. Yeah. We were supposed to interview him. He does.
Here's another one. Another sketch I got.
Nice Huntress.
No, it's Jean Grey, the old.
Oh, it is Jean Grey. Sorry. After before it focused, it looked like Huntress. Yeah, he does that book Gladstone's whole like School for Supervillains.
Yeah, it's really fucking good book. I will say that.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, so yeah, Grizzle Geek, we'll have to catch you at the next event or something. That I don't know how we missed each other. I figured Lance would have introduced us, but his mind was elsewhere.
Yes, sir. So yeah, if you guys haven't checked out Jose,
are you going to show the Beetlejuice sketch, Jose, or what?
Yeah, show
right.
that.
That's what we're waiting for.
All right.
But while he's looking for it, I have to give a shout out to my wife. Today is our 16th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations! And then tomorrow's your 40th birthday, right?
Yep.
Yeah, look at you.
It was my birthday party. Birthday party.
I don't have the sketch on me.
You can't see it because the yellow
It's
washes
just
it
a
out.
gold. It's like a gold.
I'll
gold light.
it real quick.
It looks like you're holding up a fucking Magnum package.
That's
It's
better.
even worse.
No, that's so much better. I loved it.
Hold on, no, that's not gonna work either.
There, we can see it.
That's better.
That's better.
A little bit.
No, it looked better before when you had it all the way turned up.
It literally looks like instead of Beetlejuice, it looks like it's Rick. Yeah, you can't see it.
Yeah, it's hard to
Jose, put your porn away.
Jose, what's your Instagram?
see. Get a new camera.
Get a new camera.
It's Jose Chimichanga.
Needs a new camera.
Uh-oh.
Shut that damn dog up.
Let me go see what this is.
Oh, Chuck must be there. It must be time for Brian to disappear for an hour.
I got comics.
Tim says, "Congrats, Kyle," in the chat
For which part?
for both. I think.
Woo! Yeah. Thank you, Tim.
16
Tomorrow we're having a fiesta.
Ooh.
We're gonna have carne asada and fajita chicken.
Is it going to be like Jose's awkward birthday party carne asada where it's all burnt and tastes like shoe leather?
No.
Okay. Because Jose had to man the grill because his dad got hurt.
Just keep flipping them.
Yep.
But man, while we're waiting for Brian to come back, man, I had my oh fuck, I think I am finally realizing that I'm old moment the other day. It was Tuesday night. So, I've been taking my son to concerts. Well, finally one of my daughter's bands had come around. And we saw them at Warped Tour. They're a band called Knucklepuck. And they came with another band called Citizen, they're a pretty cool band. So we, mind you, my daughter, like I was saying, just graduated high school. So for some reason in my head, it like clicked to me that she's
Jesus Christ, it sounded like a fire alarm.
But she's like an adult, right? So I'm like, oh, her dad's got to take her to this concert. I've got to like stand in line with her, and like I bought a ticket, and like I have to go inside, and we're gonna hang out at the concert. And I was like, all right. So I get in there, and I look around. It's like 10 minutes before the concert starts. I'm looking around, and I look to the right of me, and I look to the left. I scan the whole crowd. I'm like at an angle, looking at the stage, and I'm like, holy fuck. There is no one above 24 at this concert. And I was looking around and I was like, nope, that's someone's dad. That's someone's mom. And that was it. And I was like, oh, fuck. And then it dawned on me. I was like, I guess she didn't really need her dad to go to this fucking emo pop punk concert with her. And I was just, I don't know. It's one of those moments where you realize, well, you guys haven't realized yet, but maybe
your kids are growing up and you're empty nesting it.
Yeah, a little bit.
They don't need you anymore.
I was like,
as much as you want to hang on, you got to let go.
Here's real quick. Here's I'm gonna screen share. Here's Jose's amazing sketch for those of you that can maybe see it now.
Oh, that is cool.
I mean, he really did a good job. The Beetlejuice looks great. What's her name? Lydia. I always want to call her Celia, but it's Lydia. I mean, he just did such a good job. That is such a good sketch. And
yeah, he's a fantastic artist, man.
Yeah.
He really is.
He really is, man.
He's awesome.
So
Like
big shout
most of his stuff is anime, but like stuff like that, it has like an anime twist, but it's still so awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
I want to get him to draw a picture of Jose clicking his keyboard.
But God, it drives me bonkers.
Is that making him madder than Lance after a meeting with the Fireside guys?
Oh my God. Oh my God.
So what, anything else like really cool happened Saturday that I might have missed?
Nope.
Just community, man. Just
Dude,
community.
we did a panel. Me and Matt did a panel with Lance and Sam from Couch Crunchers. What we did was it was Action Stars versus The Walking Dead. So I got up there. It's Matt, me, Sam, and then Johnny Utah.
Some kid we pulled up from the audience.
Yeah, and he had mentioned Keanu Reeves in that movie, Point Break, so we called him Johnny Utah. So it was a fantasy like football draft. We rolled dice to see what order we did, and like I was last, so that means I got to pick first. After you know how fantasy works.
Yeah, it was a snake draft.
I didn't know. It was all explained to me. So I picked mine. So my team.
Wait, hold on. Who was the first pick?
John Wick by me.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's terrible.
No.
Why wouldn't you go Terminator, dude?
Because we excluded Terminator because
Terminator and RoboCop got excluded.
Yeah, it was broken. It would have been an automatic win.
Well, it wouldn't have actually. By the time this was going on, it actually wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, it probably wouldn't have mattered.
So my team consisted of John McClane, Dirty Harry, Kato, who else was there? Hawkeye, and who was my fifth one? Oh, fuck, I forgot my fifth one now. Do you remember?
I don't remember who it
It
was.
was,
Did they have to be like normal dudes without superpowers and shit?
it was just a board, and we just got to pick. But
There was a lot of guys up there.
and the Punisher, Frank Castle.
Okay.
That was my 5 people. So,
Well, to put context behind it, it started that you were supposed to drift only action stars, and somehow it took a hard right turn to we just started picking whoever the fuck we wanted.
yeah. But there was a board. I tried very hard to stick to the rules.
He did.
I did. And I got stuck in my own head. I finally got up there, and I like, it's kind of funny, but I kind of had like stage fright. And I like, once I got up there, I was like a deer in the headlights. And I was like, so like Lance puts up this scenario, and you read through the scenario, and he says, this is what's going on. Like, one of your doctor has been caught by the governor, and you have to break through the gates. And these are the items that you have: a half a tank of gas, 3 crossbow arrows, and like a hunting knife. And what you're supposed to do is, with your 5 people, take those items and, do this scenario. And it went off the rails. So I tried to stay in those parameters. But for some reason, I was like a deer in the headlights. I kept just saying, we're going in there guns blazing, no matter what the scenario was. Because I was thinking about it like this. I had the Punisher, Dirty Harry, Hawkeye, and John McClane. Like, what else are you going to do with that team? Like, besides go in there shooting, there is no real plan. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what do you do stealth-wise like that? Hawkeye sits in a tree and everybody else goes in guns blazing.
He's only sniper.
What?
He's the only sniper.
And that was the other scenario I did, is he was sniping and everybody else came in guns blazing. But it was actually a pretty cool panel, but it was just really weird that I had stage fright.
My team was John Wick, Batman, Liam Neeson, Austin Powers, and I forget who my fifth one was. Who's my fifth one, Kyle?
All you needed just John Wick.
He pretty much just used John Wick and Batman.
Yeah. I can't remember who my fifth one was. But
once Matt said, I'm gonna rescue everybody in the Batcopter or whatever he said, whatever you said.
No, so Sam starts out with he had Jason Statham. So he goes, because I have Jason Statham, I automatically get an Audi because he's got an Audi and everything. And it started off where I only got one Batarang for Batman. And I was like, this is bullshit. I was like, if he gets an Audi, I want full access to my utility belt and everything. And then Lance is like, well, I'll give you the Batcopter. So one of them was like, you're surrounded by a horde. What do? I was like, I get everyone on the Batcopter and fly away.
You know what my fix was when the surrounded by a horde?
Guns a-blazing.
Guns blazing.
No, you tried to steal the other person's Audi.
Oh yeah.
And then it somehow turned into a Volkswagen Jetta.
I did do that. I was like, if everybody's making up crazy shit, then I'm just gonna do it too.
You should have had Knight Rider.
I didn't think of Knight Rider. I told you I had stage fright.
Little Kyle couldn't come out.
No, I was scared. I was over whispering the Matt, I don't want to do this anymore. So what I did was I worked it pretty good. I was going back and forth, and there was a kid in the audience that always vote for me. The only person in this whole panel that would vote for me is this other one kid. And I was like, hey, you want to come up here and do this? He's like, yeah. I'm like, fuck yeah. I jumped off the stage, and this kid jumped on. Kid's name was Kyle.
Wow.
We called him Quasi Kyle.
Oh, wow. Perfect.
Yeah.
Did he do good?
Did he what?
Did he do good, or was the show already over?
Well, yeah, he like swept the next round.
Yeah.
Like the only round he got in, he fucking swept.
Because it was cool the way Tyler and them did it is everybody went on their phones and you entered in a code and everybody's name was on there and you got to vote through your phone.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, you didn't have to do it by clapping or raise hands. You could truly do your own personal vote and nobody ever voted for me.
Yeah. Freaking cool.
But yeah,
that was Saturday, huh?
Yeah.
Matt, you went to a lot of panels. Did any of you other guys? Go to panels and.
I only went to the Comic Playground panel and our panel. That's the other panel I did.
I went to the
No, we went
to another one.
Couch Crunchers.
The dude, what's his name? Brian
Augustine.
Dude, that dude is so fucking funny.
He does all the cons.
Oh, dude, he saved the Comic Playground panel. Like,
dude, he is so.
He was the best part about that panel. No offense to those guys, but he was definitely the best part of that panel.
It didn't matter what Frank did. That motherfucker would not crack a smile. Didn't matter if he did it in Morgan Freeman. It didn't matter if he would just look at him.
Yeah, stone-faced.
It was awesome. But it was an interesting panel because I liked what they did with it. It was independent writers who kind of still made it through, I thought that was cool listening to their stories, different time periods, same struggle. It was actually a pretty cool thought, like the ElfQuest shit. It was you know what I mean? They had said they went to
Wendy and Richard Peeney. Is that their name? Wendy Peeney? Is that her name? The ElfQuest people?
Yeah, they were there.
Okay.
Yeah. So they were talking about it. They said, they had this great idea and they went to Marvel, and Marvel said no. So they said, fuck it, we're going to do it ourselves. So they did themselves. And then Marvel comes back and is like, hey, we'd like to have that.
Too late, fuckers.
Nah, they were like, cool.
They created a label for them, kind of like Image did for Robert Kirkman with Skybound. I think that Marvel did the Epic. Was it the Epic?
I don't remember what they said, but yeah, they had given them. And then when what movie came out? Was it when Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings, yeah.
Warner Brothers came in and optioned their ElfQuest and so it was taken off the market, so that there was no competition for Lord of the Rings or anything.
Well, yeah. Didn't they say that they optioned ElfQuest and they took a 2-year option, and in that 2 years they released Lord of the Rings, and then they came back to them and said, "No, thanks, we're not going to make it because it's too much like Lord of the Rings."
And then they came back and they wanted to option it again for something. They said no.
They're gonna do it on their own.
No, they won't let anybody option it anymore because once it's optioned, they can't do shit with it. They got paid to fucking for like Warner Brothers to sit on it.
Yeah,
Well,
but
that was one of the questions they asked in the panel was how long. Well, no. So when they optioned, they said when Warner Brothers optioned their book, they were told they're not allowed to put anything else out. So they optioned it for 2 years, which means they couldn't put anything else out for 2 years. So that means that they would have been dead in the water. Because 2 years without your product out there, nobody's going to remember who you are. And so they said one of the questions was, how long now when someone approaches you about turning optioning your product, how long do they have to option it? So they said, now we do it 1 year and 1 year only. And
they said what they did is the workaround was they said they couldn't make anything. So they put all their shit out for free.
Yeah, they re-released all of their
on the internet for free.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Right?
That's boss.
Yeah, you could still go on there and get it for free right now.
I got mad respect. I'm not a big fan of the comic. I just never was. But man, that just gave me a ton of more respect for those.
Yeah. Wow. They're very much like, you want to give me rules here. I'm gonna go right through that rule.
That makes me want to go talk to them. That makes me want to find them at another con and go talk to them.
It was a very interesting panel. I felt like a lot of the questions were softball questions, were real easy instead of like hard thought out pressing questions. But I guess that's what you got to do in a panel like that.
Yeah, these guys get asked the same thing over and over and over.
Yeah, that's why like that one time I was in the Kevin Eastman interview. He said, "I know everyone's got their questions, but that's why he does it round table style." He says, because chances are somebody's going to ask your exact question. And it happens every time. So he was like, make sure you have other questions because chances are your question's going to get asked. And there isn't any question that hasn't been asked.
That makes it even better.
We'll have to try and reach out. Maybe we can reach out to the AlphaQuest people and see if they'll come on and do an interview and let you interview them, Brian.
That would
be
freaking
I got to tell you, like, I know we keep going back to this interview, but like Brian, dude, you were so I don't know how you do it. Like just watching you and Neil Adams, like you connect with people on a weird level. Like you started talking to Neil Adams about his appearance on Coast to Coast, and like you started connecting to him about something completely other than comics. And then you sat down to start interviewing him, and you're bringing your personal experiences into your questions and making them connect with you on a different level. And it's crazy. Like, how do you do that? Like we need to get more people on here for you to interview so people can see just how you do that. Cause it's kind of crazy how you manage to do that.
Thank you, brother. That was, that was a multitude of things. And it was kind of like, me being such a big fan for a long time, but also I got to be honest, hearing somebody that you're about ready to interview that you're such a big fan of go, you better have good questions. You know what I mean? Like that I kind of the majority of that interview that we did was more off. This is going to sound crazy, but it was more off the cuff because I had all these questions written down. And I showed them to Matt and I think I talked with Matt afterwards. I have like 20 questions and, I didn't get to ask a lot of those questions just because of where our conversation went. And so it felt really natural, which was really cool. And not to give anything away, it just it felt really good to have that conversation with him, rather than a cheesy conversation where he gets asked the same thing over and over. So
like the interview is 20 minutes long. It got cut off abruptly and short because he got busy because we were doing it at his table. but we definitely got to get him back on to finish that interview. Like, I've got his wife's information. We'll reach out to get that finished, because like he easily could have talked to you for an hour or two. Like, he wasn't getting annoyed. He wasn't getting frustrated. Like, you could tell he was genuinely having a good time talking with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask him if he licked frogs.
Well, one of the no, we didn't get there. We didn't get there. But one of the things that wasn't on the interview that, and this isn't giving anything away, Matt brought it up, is when we first sat down with him, Matt was getting all the audio gear ready, and I just pulled up a chair next to him, and we just started talking. And
I should have held his hand.
Well, here's the problem. Like, you could tell he didn't want to do it because somebody had jumped in before us and I think he thought that was the interview, maybe, because when we walked up, he kind of acted like, whoa, didn't I already do that? You know, like he was kind of like, you could tell he was kind of thrown off. And so, you know, he was kind of, I think that he was a little taken back. And so I knew it was Neil Adams, and I knew that, you know, he's been just like everybody else. He's been asked crazy stuff. So I brought up, a lot of people don't know this about Neil Adams. Neil Adams has some really cool out there ideas on fringe topics. One being the young Earth theory, or the growing Earth theory, and how he takes a lot of flack for it. But I told him, I got respect for you because you put yourself out there, and you're creating an idea, you're creating talk, and like, you know, to hear that on you know, one of your heroes on another one of your heroes show, that being Coast to Coast, I brought that up with him, and it turned into like a 10-minute conversation that I don't even know if you got any of that on the recording.
Nope, that was all you and him.
Yeah,
that's all for you and him for the rest of your life. Yeah,
you got the icebreaker in.
Yeah, and I think that we could do that on the show more often. I know Kyle would love to do it. I love to do it.
Just the fact where he was like, I could talk about this is the kind of shit I want to talk about. He's like, I could talk about this shit for hours. Like, he was down to talk with you about it. Like,
yep. Yeah, it was good, man. It was cool. It was really cool. And not only that, he was in an area like you know, we brought up earlier. There was no artist alley. Everything was kind of chaos. They didn't group
a lot of Etsy people.
Yeah. So there was people all around, and I was, you know, I'm worried that we're not getting into the audio, and then Ken was there. Ken Brown sat in. Ken, you know, talked with him for a bit too, and that was cool. I felt bad for Ken because Ken didn't have a chair, so he's like crouched, you know, in front of that table the whole time, and you could tell he was uncomfortable as all get out, man. And damn, dude.
But he wasn't missing a word.
No. He was enjoying it, man.
I don't blame him.
It was cool. There was a group of people standing around us, and I think that's kind of what got to the point that group of people got so big that his wife is like, this is money we're losing. And I had told, you know, both me and Matt had said, hey, if at any point we're taking money away from you, stop the interview, and, you know, whatever. We don't, you know, we appreciate it, but we don't want to take money away from you. And a couple times Neil was like, you know, telling these people, oh, just go look around. Just go look around. It's going to be a little bit. And
like he was enjoying the conversation. Like he was like, I'm not ready to end this yet. Like, and then finally he had to. So it was,
it was kind of a bummer because, you know, that did happen, but it was fun, man.
But all right. Oh, go ahead, Brian.
So, you know, I'm just now realizing this. Overall, the con was really good. Like, you think about it,
like, you're all excited about Neil again.
And not only that, like, this conversation has brought me back. But here's the crazy thing: the con was good, not because of comics and buying stuff. It was because of who you were hanging out with.
Yeah,
like that, like everything that we've really talked about this whole time are like, you know, chatting on a personal basis with these creators. Hanging out with other podcasters, like maybe that's what this thing is turning into, is just like a place to do that. And I get that. Being a comic fan, I'm not super happy about it.
It's the place where you get and you rub shoulders.
Yeah.
Well, it makes sense because you're all there for the same thing. You all have a common interest. You're all there for that. So I mean, it makes sense that you're gonna have a good time with the people you're around. And
Yeah.
And like I said, it was a good time. The convention itself was whatever. I could take it or leave it. And that's what I try to explain to people too when they're like, oh, Phoenix Fan Fusion sucks or Comic-Con sucks. There's never any good panels or nothing going to do. I was like, it's more about the people you're with, the people you meet, the experiences you have. Yeah, it's having a good time. Like I was in pain. Like I had some little kid take my knee out day one, running through the con.
I remember.
Tripped and fell and went and chop blocked me behind the knee. So my knee was fucked all weekend. Like I had it heavily bandaged up and I was taking Percocet like to fight through the pain to be able to keep going. But like I was having a good time regardless because of just the people I was hanging out with and the conversations you're having. And like
at one point I walked to find Matt and I look and he's sitting down and I go, dude, are you okay? And it was like towards the end of the day on Friday. I go, are you okay? And he's like, no, man. And you could just see his face, the pain he was in. And he literally goes, I don't think I'm coming back. Like you could tell. And you pulled through. I was surprised you made it to the next day.
I had to.
Yeah. It'll give you some zone. That would help.
I had responsibilities.
Yes. But I wish, I always regret certain things from the cons. And one of the things that I always regret is not getting a sketch or two. So that kind of bummed me out. I always bring books to get sketches. I just don't want to go do it, you know?
I think what bummed you out was the first day when you walked up to CGC and you were real weary about giving them your book. And that's kind of like when your attitude changed. Like you were good up until that point, and then when that whole shit fell through, that's when your attitude of this sucks kind of came into play.
A CGC facilitator there.
No CGC there. Like what the hell? Like I don't want to give somebody, like there was people handing this guy books that were like way better than mine, and I'm thinking those books are thousands of dollars, and this guy is just a normal like this. And one guy goes, I can attest to this guy. He's a really good. And I'm like, listen, man, you can give him your books. I brought one book in to get graded. And I want this one book graded by CG. I want to hand it to CGC if I can. And that was my thought process. And that you're right. That really bummed me out. So
really that wind out of your sail.
That was poor advertising too, because like the convention was like on-site grading, and like pushing CGC, and they weren't even there. It was some stupid facilitator that was just there for like the Kevin Eastman stuff.
Yeah. It was funny because me and Matt walked up to CBCS, and it was what's his name that was working there? Kevin? No, his buddy Ryan. And I asked him, and I'm like, we couldn't find where CGC's booth was because they weren't fucking there.
So you asked them,
and so me and Matt are like, I'm looking and we see CBCS. I'm like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna walk up to CBCS.
I didn't see them,
and I'm gonna ask them where CGC's booth are. And so I walk up to, and I forget what he said. I can't remember if, Jesus, I can't remember if he said anything or if I just kind of took it as that, you know, thought. But I asked him where CGC was, and he's like, I don't think they're here, but we'll grade your books. And I'm like, yeah, that's, you know, man. And he kind of looked at me like, yeah, I get it, man.
Brian hit him with the no thanks, I'm good.
Yeah, he said, "Yeah, I get it."
Yeah, I was like, "Nah."
Giving it up, and you're just like, "I'm good."
Yeah, man.
I didn't see him, but you know what? I didn't have anything I wanted to grade. Didn't want to grade nothing. Didn't even think about it.
I know, man.
I'm still that turned off.
I don't blame
you. Jeez.
I hate to say it either. You know, we've beat that. I mean, it's a dead horse, but it's a lot of our books were going to grading, and so anyways, yeah, that really bummed me out. And that was like the first thing we did when we walked in. So I was like all gung ho. I'm like, yeah, this can be fun. And yep. Yeah, that was the only reason I wanted to go, other than, just walking around and representing. I think that there must have been 10, 15 people that said to me, oh, let me see that shirt. What does your shirt say? And I would be like, or somebody would go, oh, the comic code. I go, nah, you didn't read it, man. So it blows me away You know, I still say it's my favorite logo. So
You're welcome.
yeah, it's amazing.
welcome.
It really is.
I'm the one who designed it.
So I can't give you your cookies through the monitor, Jose, but
He doesn't get any cookies. He's the fucking Bill Finger to my Bob Kane. It was my idea. He just created it.
I'm
Yeah,
the one who gave it to you.
No, it was my idea. You just
No, was it?
I just asked you to create it.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I definitely did. You're just the Bill Finger to my Bob Kane.
Nope.
That's exactly what Bill Finger would say.
Here, create something called the Comic Code and put our podcast on it.
Yeah. Easy there, Rob Liefeld.
Does it can draw feet?
Yeah.
Did you have anybody ask you about your shirt, about that shirt?
Not one person.
I was
I
gonna wear it Sunday, but I thought to myself, I don't want to sit down. I mean, Neil Adams. After the interview, I realized I should have worn it because Neil Adams probably would have laughed his ass off.
I wore it for Neil Adams. He looked at it a few times, but he didn't say shit.
Really?
Mhm.
Well, he definitely saw the Comic Code one, and he stopped, and that was the first thing he said to it. He goes, "Absolute Geek Podcast, huh?" And then I think he realized, you know.
I think that's when it clicked that because I was wearing that shirt the day before. I think that's when it clicked that, oh, these are the guys I'm supposed to talk to.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. And it was kind of a bummer because when we first got there, did you know that there was going to be another interview before?
Nope.
And that was kind of a bummer because that really worried me. I was like, oh man.
Well, that's what I was told later on. The issue is that he thought that they were us. So like he gave him the interview because he thought it was us.
White people.
Yeah, and they just like sneaked in there and asked him, and he thought it was supposed to be us.
Oh, that's a bummer. I kind of want to hear their interview now.
Wish we knew who it was.
I know. I'm sure we'll find out.
But
he did say at the end of that, and his wife did too, hey, keep in contact. So
yeah.
So don't be fucking lazy, Matt. Actually, Brian should keep in contact.
Listen, dong flipper. All right. He's got a new dong flipper video out. Did you see that?
Yeah.
You saw the new one?
I saw it on Twitter.
Where he like flips the dude and the dude power slams the other guy.
Kyle was like grabbing at that one dude that Ken knows that used to deal with all the wrestling stuff, like just grabbing for stories about the dong flipper. He's like, got any stories about the dong flipper?
And dude, he kept trying to get back to his magic tricks, and I kept circling back around to wrestling.
Dong flipper, yeah.
To the dog flipper, yeah. But all right, so we've talked about Fan Fusion for about an hour now. We've pretty much beat it into the ground. So let's talk about some of the other stuff that we have on the agenda tonight.
Batman, it's official.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson's officially Batman.
Batman.
For a 3-picture deal. It's going to be a trilogy, a 3-picture deal.
They're going all in.
Look, I'm just saying, Joaquin Phoenix is a Joker in those movies. Let's do it.
I bet she's not.
If you're going young Joker, if you're going young Batman like that, and if they already established that Joker is that Batman or Bruce Wayne, young Bruce Wayne, as part of that Joker movie, let's get it. Let's do it.
Hey, I'm calling it right here first. Court of Owls.
Oh, fuck. That'd be so good.
Court of Owls.
Think so, huh?
Court of Owls. I think it's going to be Death in the Family, Scott Snyder. I really think that they're going Scott Snyder with this next trilogy. How could they not? It's fresh. A lot of people know, the comic community know about it, but a lot of people in the Batman world don't know about it. The movie world. So
this news story is fucking weird.
Yeah, I read it yesterday. I was not
Last Night on Earth.
Yeah,
I loved it. I loved it.
I loved the beginning of it. I was like, oh fuck, I see where this is going. And then
the Superman thing was weird.
Yeah.
It was too I'm not a fan of that.
I wasn't a fan of the choppiness of it.
Right? They did that weird Superman thing in there, right?
Where they didn't know
am I This is the one where he goes and gets the last Batman suit. He's dealing with
it's so like the book starts. Yeah.
Oh, okay. No, I'm thinking of something different. What am I?
This just came out Wednesday.
Okay, I'm thinking of the new Justice League story.
Oh yeah, no.
That's what I read. The new Justice League story. Sorry,
but we can talk about it right now.
Yeah, talk about it. Yeah,
let's talk about it real quick. It's pretty cool. It's kind of choppy. I think what's going to happen is like there's going to be like you got this layout, and I think they're going to insert chunks back into it so that it makes sense. Because right now it's like a little sporadic, and it's kind of I kind of like the way he did it. Is it's thicker. It's not just a normal comic book. It's thicker.
Yeah, it's prestige,
and
it's part of DC's Black Label. It's the newest addition to their Black Label.
So it's like there's 3 different stories going on in it. So just as you're getting into the first story, which is really cool, it like bounces you somewhere else, and like he's like coming up through the sand, and he's carrying the Joker's head in a lantern.
That. Yeah, that was dope.
But the whole beginning's fucking crazy. Like it's like that thing where he wakes up in a hospital, and like it's the whole everybody that's been around him is what has been Batman.
I know what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of Doomsday, the new Doomsday issue.
Oh.
Or is it not Doomsday? Doom Clock or whatever.
Doomsday Clock.
Yeah.
I bailed on that.
I read the last issue and it was weird, man. Weird. Did you read it, Matt?
No, I didn't. I bailed on it as well. I'm with Kyle.
They're doing some weird Superman stuff, man. I'm not a fan of it.
I poo-pooed on it.
It's Batman. He wakes up in a hospital.
Well, so the book opens up where he's racing off to investigate something that Alfred keeps telling him there's nothing there. Sensors say there's nothing there. There's nothing there. But Batman's like, no, there's something here. He's like hell bent on getting there. So he gets there, and in the alley, it's right where his parents died. It's Crime Alley. So when he gets there, in the alley is a little kid in the rain on his knees.
So what it is he's been chasing this guy that's been doing chalk lines.
Yeah.
And what he is, and it's one line, and then it goes away. And it's one line, and then it goes away. And it's just, and he finally, then he gets the Crime Alley, and he has like he puts the images together, and it's him laying there dead.
Mm-hmm.
And it's his chalk outline. And where his heart stopped is actually where his parents were murdered.
Yeah. And so when he gets there, he finds this little boy, and this is what he sees.
Okay.
It's like this little zombie kid. And then it cuts to, he's like talking to the kid, like, what are you doing here? What's going on? And the kid's like a mechanical thing, and he produces a gun and he shoots him. And then once the gun fires, it cuts to Bruce waking up in Arkham Asylum.
Oh.
And he's like talking to his doctor, who looks just like the Joker. And the doctor's like, you've been here for...
Someone that looks like the Penguin.
Yeah.
And you see another chick that looks like Harley Quinn. And it's just... And that's what they're telling them is everybody... Your Batman story is just everybody that you've been hearing because you've been like in a coma type of thing since you killed your parents.
Yeah, and like Alfred's there talking to him and stuff and trying to convince him of this, and they put him in he wakes up in like a padded cell later on, and he's like, all right, it's time to get out of here, and he rips open the padded cell, and then he finds the dinosaur in the penny, but it's an actual penny in like a toy.
Oh.
So like all this stuff is set up to be like it's all of this giant hallucination.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is either in that word?
Fuck me, I'm an idiot. Excuse me.
But
then he's like, where's my bat suit? Bring me my bat suit. Where's my bat suit? And finally it's like, Alfred's like, all right, you want your bat suit? I'll give you your bat suit. And there it is. It's like a straight jacket and a helmet and shit.
If you look at that is like an exact cover homage to the Alex Ross cover for 687. I think it's Detective 687, the Neil Gaiman story of Whatever Happened to the Cape Crusader Part 2. It's a badass Alex Ross cover where Alfred is holding the bat suit. and it looks just like that, but it's the normal bat suit.
But like but then he escapes into like this post-apocalyptic world, and he finds the Joker's head in a lantern.
Well, like it kind of shows him going from like Arkham on this crazy spree, and all of a sudden he comes up through the sand.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, and it's a new story.
Yeah, and so like he's in this world where like there's no more Green Lanterns, and these like demon babies have like the Green Lantern rings, and he runs into like Poison Ivy. And he runs into Diana, who gives him like his original bat suit back, like she's got it in a suitcase. And it's really good. It's a thick, yeah. It does jump all over the place. I definitely agree with Kyle that I definitely think it's going to be like one of those things where you're going to be jumping from different points in time. But it's like a mini trade, dude. I'm telling you what, it was $6, but it's in a small, it's good paper. Yeah, it was $6.
Fuck, I wouldn't have bought it then. I was playing.
Dude, it's like a mini trade. It's really thick. It's got some of Capullo's best art in it, I think.
Thick the way Matt likes it.
Yep. Thick with 3 C's and 2 T's.
That's thick.
But it's definitely got some of like Capullo's best art in it. Like I love this like Alfred face right here.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely got some of Capullo's best art. And it's their final Batman story, man.
I want to get the jock cover to that.
So
I've heard that before from them.
Right.
Yeah, but I think this time it is because they're moving on to different things. Because even in the back page, it even says one last adventure together.
You want to know what I think? I think that Greg Capullo moved to Sedona and got into psychedelics.
And now he's into crystals
and got his good buddy Scott Snyder to come hang out for a couple weekends, and got him in psychedelics, and that's where the story's coming from.
Dude, we're gonna do this in a weekend. Fucking shroom.
Yeah, this is peyote Batman.
But yeah, so it's a super cool story. But so I would definitely pick it up. Yeah, I would definitely recommend picking it up though, especially if you're a fan of the New 52 Scott Snyder and Capullo Batman run. Yeah. But that's a good point that maybe they do go Snyder for the new movies.
I really hope so. That's some of the greatest writing that I've read altogether in the last decade. So
the other thing I want to talk about moving on is the title of the show. Fan petitions are getting even crazier now that fans who can bitch about who's playing Batman are petitioning to get Danny DeVito to play Wolverine.
That'd be awesome.
It's become a complete joke, man.
Yeah.
Petition I can get behind.
It's just a way to troll now. It's just petitions.
Do a fan petition to get Danny DeVito to play Wolverine.
You should try to come up with one, a really good one, and try to get it.
Petition to not do petitions.
Yeah, I'm sure that's already been done.
I'm sure it has too.
But I just thought that was funny, like thinking of Danny DeVito as Wolverine.
I'm gonna make a petition to have Corbin come on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I thought it was silly when they were doing the petition before it about Game of Thrones. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was silly that they had a petition to not have Robert Pattinson be Batman 20 minutes after it was announced that he's going to be Batman.
and then 2 weeks later, he's officially Batman.
Yeah, and 2 weeks later, it's announced that he's officially Batman.
Yeah. I don't know.
Which is weird, because I read an article last night that they were having the 2 actors do screen tests in the bat suit, and that's how they were going to decide who was going to be Batman. And I guess he won out.
It's got to be just the cowl, right? Not the whole.
They said full suit.
Oh wow!
I would like to see both of those auditions.
Yeah,
right. It's just them and the camera. I'm Batman.
No, I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. No, I'm Batman. That's what they're just doing it at different sound levels.
Yeah.
But I thought that was.
So you think he's going to make a good Batman?
I think he is.
It's all going to be the story. The story is going to make that.
Yeah, as long as the story's good, he should be fine.
Yep.
I think he'll be all right.
Let's talk. I want to ask you about Brightburn.
Oh, it's fucking terrible. It's a fucking terrible movie.
It's so terrible.
Oh, really? I was looking forward to it.
It's a shit movie, dude. The writing is shit. It's oh my
You did
god.
come out with a 9.8 on that.
No, dude, this is like a 3.5.
How many boners do you give it?
Dude, I don't even give it a
a
semi
limp
chub. Yeah, it's a limp.
It's a
It's a whiskey dick. Yeah,
three-quarter hit.
That's bad.
it's so bad it doesn't hang at all. It's like a button.
Oh,
It's a
Benjamin Button.
It's a button in the jungle.
I mean, it literally is your typical. It's Superman's origin story to a fucking T, but he's evil. So the little kid crash lands. Mom and dad are trying to fucking make a baby. The kid crash lands, and then he grows up. And when he's about 10 years old, the ship that they're keeping in the bar starts talking to him. So he like starts flipping out and going crazy. And then the way he discovers he has powers is the dumbest fucking shit ever.
So what's the twist then?
There's no twist. Like,
Somebody said there's a twist at the end.
he finds out that he's got powers, and so by trying to start a lawnmower. And as he's trying to start the lawnmower, he chucks the lawnmower across the yard. And then it's laying upside down with the blade spinning. And, his first thought is, oh, I'm super strong. Let me see if I can stick my finger in this and what's going to happen. So he sticks his finger in it and stops the blade. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, cool. I have powers. And then he's like fucking flipping out and he like breaks some girl's hand. And like, I mean, there's some cool death scenes. Like, I can't remember the actor's name, but if you've ever seen Breaking Bad, he plays Badger in Breaking Bad. I can't think of the actor's name. I should Google it.
There you go. Search engine that shit.
Yeah. Let me be like let me be like Fireside here and let me Google some stuff.
You need a Jamie.
Yeah. Let's see, Badger. Oh no, Breaking Bad. No,
The guy. He had the beard, like the weird beard.
Yeah.
Tall and skinny.
I
I remember who he is.
Let's see. Sorry, guys. I know this is.
You should do your homework beforehand.
I should.
Badger.
Matt Jones plays
Beaver.
him. And he has a cool death where like he plays. The kid's name is Brandon Breyer, so it's not Clark Kent, but it's Brandon Breyer, and he's in Brightburn, Kansas, I think it is.
That's a cool name for a city if that's real.
And so he's like this creepy little kid, and he's like, so once he gets his superpowers, he turns into like a fucking peeping Tom. So he like starts peeping into this girl's window that he likes and shit, and like she sees him, and then like at school they're making fun of him, and the bullies push him down, and the track coach tells her to pick him up or help him up. And she's like, no, he's a freak, and she puts her hand out, and he like breaks her arm, like crushes her hand.
Yeah, that's cheesy. Really piss poor writing.
And then her mom gets pissed off and is like, are you even his real mother? And of course, his adopted mom like, I am his mother. And so then he kills that woman later on, and he like nails her body in their barn where his ship is. Yeah, spoiler alert.
Oh.
And people are leaving. They're like, oh fuck, I don't want to watch. I want to watch Brightburn. And then let's see. But his death was cool because he was like trying to drive away because Brandon's aunt was the school nurse or school counselor. So like she was talking to him, and he showed up at their house, and she's like, you need to go home. And he was like hiding in the closet when a dude came home. So he's like, I'm taking you home. And so as they're going in the car, Brandon takes off. So the guy's like driving on the road, and then like he sees Brandon in the middle of the road. So Brandon picks his car up like this and drops it straight down. And the dude's like yelling as he drops. So he goes like mouth first into the steering wheel, and it like breaks his jaw from his face. So his like jaw's like hanging there and stuff. That was a dope death. But the only possible twist could be like if you stay until after the credits, they hint that there's an evil Wonder Woman and an evil Aquaman.
Oh God,
out there too.
They can be the Evil League
because it like shows news stories of him like going through and destroying shit and attacking towns and cities, and then it shows like a one where like a dude's underwater with and shit. So like they hint at an evil Aquaman and evil Wonder Woman, and it's just piss poor writing.
I'll pass on that. Maybe I'll red box it.
It looked really like it could be decent. It looked like it was a good idea. Damn.
Right?
Did it straight from Superman Origin?
Exactly. I mean, that's exactly what it was.
That sucks.
Yeah.
It was just piss poor writing.
Yeah.
I went and saw that and Booksmart, the movie Booksmart, in the same day.
How was that?
I thought it was pretty funny. It's a female Superbad. If you like Superbad, you're gonna like Booksmart.
It's that girl from the Tim Allen.
Yeah, it's the girl. It's the youngest daughter from Last Man Standing and Jonah Hill's sister. So
Real
That's
sister?
what she looks so like, familiar.
yeah, that's the heavier set girl. That's Jonah, or the thicker girl. That's Jonah's sister's real life. That's Jonah Hill's real life sister.
Really? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
Beanie Feldstein is Jonah Hill's sister.
Have you ever seen the Jonah Hill interview on The Breakfast Club?
When he was doing press for mid-90s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was one of the best interviews I've ever seen, man. He was so fucking cool in that interview, man. When he was talking about, you know, how he wants to be a filmmaker and all that stuff. And he was talking about, you know, writing that script, how he's been writing that script forever. And that one of the most important things that he ever did was not take the first go around, the second go around. Like he literally would show it to everybody and say, tell me what you think is bad in this. Tell me what you think is bad in this. And it was like the perfect constructive criticism that you don't think about, you know what I mean? And that if any of you guys are aspiring filmmakers or just enjoy, you know, behind the scenes stuff, go watch that interview on The Breakfast Club with Jonah Hill. It's really good. It talks about, you know, what, like, he's legit. I mean, when it comes to, yeah, he grew up on the West Coast, but you know, his hip hop knowledge is really deep and really good. And it was just a really cool interview. So yeah.
Yeah, I was just about to do that same thing, Kyle. It's quiet tonight, man.
I know. Everyone's quiet. It's almost summer or something.
Yeah.
How crazy has it been with the fucking weather lately, man?
And now it's starting to get hot again.
Yeah.
Oh, well. At least we made it through Comic-Con without it being 115 degrees.
Yeah, that's weird. That, to me, that's super weird. 60-degree days in May. Like,
dope.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe fucking chemtrails are real.
I'd actually, you know, tell more people to come live here if.
Hey, if this is climate change, then I'm down.
Yeah. All we need to do is just have California sink so we can have some oceanfront property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need.
Which reminds me, new Tool album coming out soon.
It's gonna suck like the rest.
You're fucking crazy.
So, what do you guys think of how do you say his last name? David Harbour? Yeah, David Harbour.
Is that
dropping that Fantastic Four fucking nugget out there?
What do you think? Do you think it's real?
Well, I don't know. They're saying,
why would they want to grab somebody who's playing basically the same character in another comic movie?
They're saying that's going to be 5 years before Fantastic Four and X-Men even show up in the Marvel universe. So.
I don't believe that for a second.
You don't think so?
Hell no, man.
2021.
Yeah,
that's too much money just sitting there not being used. I mean, that's so much money.
Well, here's the thing. So on Reddit a few days ago, so I mean, take it, and I posted this in our chat, but take it with a grain of salt because it comes from Reddit. But the source in Reddit is a guy who leaked the Avengers, or gave the Avengers spoilers, and it was 100% accurate. It was 100% accuracy on his Avengers spoilers for Endgame. So he came out and he says that Black Widow, the next movies from Marvel are going to be Black Widow, The Eternals, Black Panther 2, Shang-Chi, Doctor Strange 2, Nova, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, Captain Marvel 2, Ant-Man 3, Thor 4 is going to happen. Avengers, New Avengers, Young Avengers, and Dark Avengers. There's no plans for X-Men or Fantastic Four. Deadpool will not appear in Spider-Man 3. Sony wants Tom Hardy's Venom to appear in the MCU film. Marvel isn't planning on doing another big 10-year arc, but will instead focus on doing small arcs, which is what we talked about before. And that Norman Osborn is planning to be the next big bad guy for the grounded heroes. So they're going to split it. They're splitting in arcs. So you're going to have the cosmic shit going on are going to interact, and then you're going to have the normal MCU movies where they're on the ground. So they're going to split it. So you're going to have the space stuff and then the stuff on Earth. So Norman Osborn pending.
Wait, hold on. I didn't get that. Say that one more time. So they're going to do cosmic stuff and then ground stuff?
Yes. Shut the fuck up. So pending Sony and Marvel or Marvel Disney re-upping their deal, they're looking at having Norman Osborn be the next big bad guy, which they kind of hint at because if you look at the Far From Home trailer, the original Avengers Tower is in that movie, and it's done and somebody else owns it. So they're thinking that's going to be like the new Oscorp. And then they're also looking to cast David Morrissey as a number of possible roles, Captain Britain, but then one I'm hearing him most linked to is playing Norman Osborn. So they're trying to get the dude who played the governor to be Norman Osborn. The governor in Walking Dead to be Norman Osborn.
I don't like that.
So that's everything that's coming out. So
I agree. I think it's obvious that their plan is to go to keep the Avengers going, right? And then the next role they're going that way is the Dark Avengers, right? That's exactly where they're going. It sounds like that.
I think what they should do is they should do part of it in space and part of it on the ground.
They should have done Secret or Invasion.
Yeah.
That would have been awesome.
Well, there's speculation that Spider-Man 3 is going to be Secret Wars. So
that'd be really cool.
And I'm cool with that too.
I was kind of hoping they were going to kind of hit closer to that in Avengers while he was in space.
You're just gonna keep harping on this for the next 20 minutes, aren't you?
I think that the Eternals is going to be there. With the Eternals, they're going to try and go like a story that is just way out there.
Hey, Kyle, this is for you. I'm doing it as hard as I can.
It'll be interesting to see when they come in with a horror style, like Fox was it Sony or Fox that was gonna do New Mutants? Fox. So if Fox was gonna do that cool horror style of New Mutants, I want to see if Marvel can pull that off. I thought that was a cool idea, especially with the group they chose.
Apparently, they're supposed to be doing reshoots, and they haven't even started doing the reshoots for that movie yet. So,
yeah, that's a bummer.
And did you see that it came out why they did reshoots for Dark Phoenix? Because it was too close to the ending of another Marvel movie. So they entirely reshot the ending to it.
I would love to know what that ending is. Is it
about New Mutants?
It was Endgame, Avengers. It was
maybe. But yeah, so
Stewart to fight.
It'll be interesting to Patrick Stewart probably sacrifices himself. He shows up and out of time and out of a portal made by Doctor Strange and sacrifices himself.
Yeah, they all come out. Two Magnetos.
Did you say there would be another Doctor Strange movie?
Yeah, Doctor Strange 2.
Okay.
It's called Doctor Stranger.
Like version?
Doctor Stranger.
Stupid. That's so stupid.
Doctor Stranger. I support that. You know what that is, Kyle? That's Absolute Geek approved. I'll take a drink for that one. Doctor Stranger. Fucking hell. Oh. And so it looks like Tom King is leaving Batman to go co-write the new Gods movie.
How weird is all this stuff that's going? Like, there's been like 5 different press releases about him in the last 2 weeks, and each one of them are wrong.
Talking about like his new Batman story and all this, and now he's going to be leaving Batman in a few issues, and then go write this movie.
Well, before the movie one came out, they said he was going to start a different book, The Detective. He was going to go write on Detective, and that was a press release. And then a couple days later, then it comes out. It's like, what the hell, man?
I think they said the other press releases he was going in too weird of a direction for Batman, and they weren't going to let him do it.
Yeah, he was, because he put out all those tweets saying he was going to change Batman for a generation, and his story was already it was starting in like I forget which issue number, but they had the issue number and the story arc all set, and he was supposed to write up until issue 100, I guess.
So now he's being pulled off at 85.
Yeah, it's weird, man. I would love to know what's going on behind the scenes in that.
Yeah, fucking Dr. Stranger. It's just sticking with me. It won't go away.
There's the next Absolute Geek shirt.
Dr. Stranger. And it's just fucking Kyle dressed up like Dr. Stranger.
Yeah, dude. He's got to be with Absolute Geek over the eyes.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can't tell it's me.
Yeah.
Dr. Stranger. That's fantastic. Oh, fuck me, dude.
Thank you, Dr. Stranger.
Did any of you guys check out Swamp Thing yet?
Yeah, the trailer or the actual show?
The actual show.
No, I'm actually going to watch it right after this.
I started watching it and fell asleep.
Oh, dude, trailer.
No, I don't know if it's bad. That don't take that in any consideration, because it was right after work and I was like, all right, I didn't sleep well last night, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna sit down and start watching Swamp Thing, and I got a little bit into it and passed the fuck out. So I take it with a grain of salt. I'll fill you all in next week about what I really thought about it. But
9.8.
No.
It looked awesome from the trailer.
Pass.
What, Jose?
No, hard pass.
You're gonna hard pass on it?
No, I'm gonna watch it.
They're killing it. Doom Patrol was good.
I was about to say Doom Patrol is really good. I thought Doom Patrol was weird for me because I watched the first episode and I was like, man, this is really good. And then like the second and third episode, I was like, man, I don't know. Maybe this isn't that good. And then they killed it.
Dude, the fact that they have an episode like their second to last episode with Fex Mentallo when he makes the fucking street orgasm. He makes everybody orgasm by flexing wrong.
The rug muscle.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Grant Morrison, man. You gotta love Grant Morrison.
Like that, just the fact that they even did that and the show killed me. Like the street has an orgasm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does it spit out asphalt?
No, it shoots out a hydrant water.
Explodes.
Yeah. And even the like Robot Man's faking an orgasm and they all start like giving him shit for it.
Yeah. What's his name? Did a really good job voicing that character.
Brendan Fraser.
Yeah,
he did, dude. Fucking kudos to him.
Isn't he in the robot suit anyways?
No,
it's a different actor in the suit.
Oh.
It'd have to be 3 times the size, man.
Yeah.
He is that 3 times the size.
I'm surprised he fit in that car replica.
Yeah, he looked like he had to wear a girdle and suck it in to be put in his fucking fire suit for the race car scenes.
Yeah.
Actually, what happened to him?
The Mummy?
The Mummy, didn't he get hurt?
We're old. It's not just he's old.
I think he just
Kyle's 40, dude.
Oh, shut the fuck up.
Kyle's 40.
That's
Yes,
fucking
he
old.
is.
Coolest one here.
I'm gonna have to get a convertible now, and
Corvette.
yeah.
Kids are getting ready to move out soon.
His kids aren't going anywhere.
Oh,
He can't even let them go to a concert by themselves. His kids are staying.
He's
His kids are staying for years.
Yeah.
They can't even get their own food. Like last weekend, we went out to the bar for my birthday, and his wife's like, Nubia's like, oh, well, you better order the kids a pizza or call and see what they want because it's almost midnight and they haven't eaten yet. Like you can't even like try to get their own food or nothing.
Well, on to defend it, we don't. We're a go out to eat every night kind of family.
There's your dad's in the chat, Kyle. Howdy.
There he is.
I was wondering when he's gonna pop in.
Tomorrow at my B-Day 40 Fiesta.
But
Fuck, you're old.
But yeah.
That sucks. I'm gonna go jump off a bridge.
My favorite story from that weekend is still Corbin though. Dude.
Oh my god.
Did you tell Brian about that yet?
I don't know if I told him or not.
No.
So we all left and we went to my wife's work to have drinks, to have some drinks for Matt's, party. And it was far enough away from the convention where it wasn't fucking $7,000 a drink, So I'm sitting there and it was me, Matt, and Eric. We're just sitting there chilling. And then Corbin shows up. So every time my wife walks by, I say something. Just like he ordered from her and she took his order. He said, "Thank you, ma'am." I said, "Don't call my wife ma'am." And I said, you know what I mean? I walked by and I'd say stuff to her like I always mess with her, but Corbin took it as he knew I was married, but he thought I was hitting on the waitress and trying to take the waitress home.
What?
Well,
Yeah.
I made that comment to Kyle. I was like, "Quit hitting on the waitress, dude." And he's like, "I'm trying to take her home," like joking around. And it's Nubia the entire time. And then like Nubia starts talking about like we're not buying another house, we're not moving. Like she's going into this whole spiel, and then Corbin, like you could see it in his face, like fucking light bulb.
Yeah, like the gears started turning.
Yeah.
Like, oh shit.
Kyle's Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah.
But yeah, he thought I was trying to take the waitress home, and he's like, he knew I was married, but he wasn't gonna cock block and not let me. He was gonna be like a homie and let it just happen. He wasn't gonna say anything. He was just gonna keep it to himself. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, he's gonna be a good dude and keep that shit under wraps. Like that's how you know Corbin's good people. He was gonna keep Kyle's supposed infidelity a secret.
Corbin's ride or die, man.
Yeah, he was like, he was totally cool with it. Yeah, exactly. He was being the wingman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a good laugh,
and
though.
it was a while. Like it was like a while. We ate and
I'm surprised.
drinking.
I'm surprised you guys went. Right? You spent the whole day at the con too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, we went and had a few drinks and then we went home. And then Matt Ubered me home.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that was probably my favorite part of the whole convention is that. That's how good of a dude Corbin is.
Yeah.
He's gonna take that secret to his grave. Act
Yes,
like
he
it wasn't going on.
He wasn't gonna see it.
So I saw him the next day and I was like, "Hey Corbin, that waitress woke up in my bed this morning."
We gotta try and make Carly's like a place for all of us to kick it, man. You gotta spend more time down there.
She doesn't want all her riffraff there.
Yeah, I know, but it'd be a cool place just to like have like a kind of. That was one of the questions I wanted to ask Neil Adams. I wanted to ask him if, like, when he was growing up in the scene in Manhattan back in the '60s and 40s and 50s, was there like an area where like all the artists and creators would kind of like go to a certain bar or just like an area where they would kick it, kind of like
the cop bar, the fire department bar.
Yeah, well, there's like a lot of like famous like artist groups that will do like the Algonquin Round Table or like the Van Gogh and the Impressionists or whatever you call those artists. Like, was there a place to do that? And I didn't get a chance to ask him that, but like I always thought that'd be cool for us just to have like a Cheers, you know what I mean? Kind of like how Rich from Pelvic did it perfect. That dude said, not only am I going to go and create my own bar, I'm going to turn it into my motorcycle club too.
Yep.
So he's got this bar that's his clubhouse that they can go to and hang out. It's his motorcycle club, also the Metalheads Motorcycle Club. You check him out if you guys are into riding and stuff. And it's a place where he has kick-ass metal shows whenever he wants. Whenever he wants to have a band come in from So like I always thought it'd be cool to have that, and we should. And downtown's really cool to hang out, and it'd be a cool place to have that. Like at Carly's if we could.
You guys should start a comic book theme bar.
Yeah.
Right. They're opening one at Desert Ridge.
Well, that's a restaurant. I'm talking like bar, like with all kinds of comic stuff all over the place, and like
Kyle's always wanted to have a bar/comic shop.
Yep. Be fucking cool.
a place where
do the comic stuff, but I think
where nerds come hang out and like you could have like an old spinner racks with like on the tables, like the small spinner racks with the menus, and
it'd be cool to go to your bar, drink and sit down for a couple beers and grab your pull list at the same time.
Yes. Yeah. If you can sit there, you can have a beer, read your book, relax for a minute, fucking, and then take off, finish the rest of your books at home. Yeah, that's
like Changing Hands. Have you been there? Changing Hands.
Are you ruining his fucking dream, Jose?
Right?
Are you ruining his dream? Dude, what is wrong with you, bro?
What a dick.
Jeez.
Went to Changing Hands?
God. No.
What is Changing Hands is a bar and a book place. But
I'm not talking about books, dude.
I know, but that's the closest.
I went to the Cobra bar the other day. I hadn't been in that place in forever.
But like we could do you could do events there, like have live podcasts there. You could do like drinking draws there. They could do trivia.
Yep.
There you could have like comic book signings, like more intimate comic book signings there for people. Like you could do all kinds of cool shit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The majority of comic book fans are older anyway, so
have a beer and read a book.
Yep. And you're right in the downtown area.
Oh, we should do that. A beer and a book.
Yeah.
A beer and a book.
A beer and a book club.
You should have that as part of like a First Friday event.
Ooh, I wouldn't do nothing there on First Friday.
No. It's that bad, huh?
I mean, I'll invest the $23.75 I have in my bank account right now.
Yeah. It's better than the minus 38 in mine.
Hey, you got a whole stack of books back there you could sell to.
Yeah, all the money back behind you.
That's where the minus 38 came from, dude.
Where the money is.
All the books behind you could auction them off and get enough money to start that.
It's funny you guys say that. I want to talk to you guys after the show about just that.
No, we'll kick all the hipsters out. It won't become a hipster spot. We'll boot them all out. No hipsters allowed.
Yeah.
We will keep. Have you ever seen the movie Fanboys? Where they keep the
favorites, dude.
They keep the phaser gun in the glass cabinet that says out Trekkie bitches. That's what we'll do.
I love that movie.
Yeah, what a great.
Tell them to get the hell off our land.
Did you guys ever see the kid that played what's the kid's name? What's his fucking name?
Which kid?
The main kid in the huh?
The one with the curly hair?
No, not him. The one that came in from out of town.
He was in Tim Allen's Jungle to Jungle.
You guys need to see him in there's a TV show that they only did 1 year. It got cut just because they didn't have enough people watch it. It to this day, it's up there with for me with Game of Thrones and Peaky Blinders. It's called The Black Donnellys. And they only did one season, and I think it's where Olivia Wilde got her start. But he's in that, and he plays like this complete opposite role of what you would think. Here's the kid that was in The Sandlot, and now he's grown up, and it's fucking amazing, man. He's a really good actor.
I don't think he was in The Sandlot, was he?
Yeah,
I know he was. I know if you're talking about the main character from Fanboys, he was in Tim Allen's Jungle to Jungle.
No, I'm talking about Sandlot, the main character.
Oh, you're talking about oh, okay, cool. Because you just said you didn't specify what movie you were talking about.
Yeah.
So you're talking about Smalls.
Yeah, Smalls. Smalls. Yeah, he grew up obviously, and I don't think he did anything until this show came out. His name's Tom Gyrie. And he did the show Black Donnellys, man. It's so fucking good. It's so good. So, anyways, what were we talking about? Jesus.
I don't know. You were talking about fanboys, and then you switched to Sandlot, so you're kind of all over the place. I don't know where you're going.
Fuck.
That's all right.
Yes, it is.
All right. At least
a beer in a book.
beer in a book.
Auctions. That's remind me to talk to you guys about auctions.
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, we're talking about beer in a book, man. We should start doing, Kyle.
We'll sit down and plan it.
There you go.
Beer in a comic book.
Start flipping books to make your dream happen.
You see your
who should we talk to about that? JJ.
What?
the King of Beepers?
Yes, the King of Beepers.
Dude, I still remember those commercials.
Since he's getting back into supposedly selling new release books, you should talk to Jesse James, Kyle.
About what?
About your beer in a book.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Jesse would definitely probably jump on that.
Definitely, probably.
Yeah, I
Definitely probably jump beyond that.
I realized what I was saying halfway in that sentence and didn't want to put words
Definitely, probably, maybe if he thinks about it.
Yeah, maybe not. Nah, maybe we'll go to Jesse.
Yeah, for sure, he probably will.
For sure, maybe he probably might
I'm really fucking good at that, man.
think about doing it.
You're committing, but not really.
Yeah. Just like a 2 doesn't matter. It's whatever you need, right? A 2 or a 10, it doesn't matter. It's all about what you need, right?
I was deep, dude. I was deep.
That's my favorite. I've watched that clip probably about 40 times. Just because I love your face when you're like out of it and then it clicks into your head. You're like, what do you mean? What am I talking about? It's like you have no idea what you're talking about. And you're like, what do you mean I don't know what I'm talking about? Like it took a minute to click that I said.
And your brother's just looking at you.
Yeah, my brother was crying. Yeah.
And then we got Dr. Stranger.
Yeah.
Page 2, Dr. Stranger.
But yeah.
Dr. Stranger. I love that. It's so funny.
Yeah, I'm surprised more people didn't say anything about the Rob Liefeld shirt.
I wore it all day. Nobody said. People looked at it, but nobody said a fucking word about it.
I had a couple of artists tell me it was funny, but they don't. You don't know how much they want to get into that kind of thing,
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, a lot of politics goes on.
Yeah.
I've had a lot of people walking around telling me like, "Oh man, I really like that shirt, and that's a funny shirt and stuff like that." But yeah, I forgot where I was going with that. Cool shirt.
Yep.
Nobody said a word to me about it.
Oh, the other way we could fund beers in a book is we can jump on the hype train of everyone else and just start stealing comics.
I don't even want to think about that, dude.
I said we break into your house.
I know. That's why I don't.
Jose was like, let's get in on that. And that's the first place I thought of. Let's go break into Brian's house.
It's also speculation books, though.
But it just seems like it's the new thing is to break in and steal comic books.
Yeah, well, that dude didn't steal the greatest books either, right?
No.
Which break-in?
The one where he cut himself breaking the glass?
Mile High one?
Yeah.
Hold on.
He took some pretty good books.
But there was other books that he left.
Could have gotten it.
Like A1 had a break-in. Some guy stole a high-grade New Mutants 98 from them. Mile High had books stolen.
What books did Mile High have stolen?
Hold on, I have a list.
There's some pretty good books in there. I know it was it was 98. I know like an ASM 129.
Spider-Man 50. Avengers #1.
It's a pretty good book.
But what grade was it? I don't say what grade it is, obviously. There's the only ones they listed.
There was like 10 books.
Yeah. There's an original art from McFarlane, but I guess that wasn't taken. It was like in another. They dropped it, I guess, or left it.
Yeah.
Oh, a 1943 letter from the Superman Fan Club of America. That one, and then he left behind over $100,000 in other rare comics.
It sounds like he knew what he was going after. Like,
yeah, but he got some pretty good books. Like he took like 10 good books. Like,
well, Avengers 1, shit. I mean,
yeah.
Well, anybody would take that. Let's see.
It was he took.
Who took what?
14 comics.
I forget what website actually listed each one.
So let's see.
It was. I know it was a New Mutants 98.
I found it. So Avengers 1, Iron Man 1, New Mutants 98, Atom 1, Amazing Adventures #4, Tales to Astonish 54, Spider-Man 129, signed by Conway, Thor #109, Fantastic Four #52, Justice League #1, All-Star Comics #18, Batman #103, Batman #123, and Original Superman Fan Club letter.
I mean, he walked away with some pretty decent books. For sure. Like he
3.
I mean, it's like I don't know.
That was all the Mile High heist, right?
Yes.
Yeah, a Mile High.
But I mean, he could have gotten so much more.
Oh, there's a stolen comic book registry. StolenComicBook.com.
I think they don't print too many comics, so it's probably easy to find them.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That's what happened with what's his name? Nick Cage, right? With his action comic.
Wasn't it his storage unit got stolen?
No, it got stolen from his house.
Oh, really? Shit.
Yeah, while he was having a party, I think, and yeah, it says it got found 11 years later. Let's see here.
Let's say how they found it. It's gotta be.
It was in a the comic book was valuable, not stolen. Let's see here. I'm just trying to pull the Fireside and read something here.
Yeah, here Nicolas Cage's stolen 1938 Superman comic book sells for over $2 million.
Oh yeah.
And when they found it in a storage unit, he couldn't keep it because he was being held to the thumbs were in the screws from the IRS. So he owed the IRS a ton of money, so he had to sell it to pay off the IRS.
They had sold at auction for $2,161,000. It's the first comic book to sell for more than $2 million.
Yeah, it's like the nicest Action Comics ever.
And it was Nick Cage's.
It says the actor reported the comic stolen from his South California house in January 2000 and was finally found April 2011 in a storage locker in San Fernando Valley.
Yep. That's crazy.
Yep.
Some motherfucker didn't pay his fucking storage locker fees.
2 other valuable comic books were stolen along with the Action Comics #1. Cage reported Detective Comics 27 and Marvel Mystery number 71 missing. The Marvel Mystery was found shortly after the disappearance, but Detective Comics is yet to be recovered.
Oh, that's another $2 million book.
I wouldn't know that. What is
That's crazy.
That's nuts. Wow.
Dude, I bet she cried for like 3 days.
Oh no, that's the story about why like he became so depressed and
Sorry.
he became so depressed and like his career went downhill just because of him losing those books.
Did he have a issue with one of his ex-wives that wanted to sell like a bunch of his comics, it was either her or the comics, and he chose the comics?
I thought that was all
It was something like that. With
Yeah.
Right, Sega boy.
So
Man.
that would be shitty.
Yeah.
It's either the comics or me, and you're kicking her off the edge of the mountain.
See you later.
Oh, shit.
The
Damn.
fucking 300 style.
Yep. This is comics.
This is collecting.
He's fucking kicking her off the fucking edge. That'd be
All
fucking funny.
right. You guys got anything else you want to talk about this week?
No.
Kyle?
No.
What was it?
Check out next week.
I
Jose,
gotta
do you
rest
wanna-
up for my 40 Fiesta.
Yeah, Jose, do you want to pull yourself away from your video game to talk about anything else?
No, I haven't had it on in like the past hour.
Mm.
No,
He turned it off when Kyle dropped Dr. Stranger.
that made me laugh. That piqued my interest.
All right, guys. I guess that'll do it for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast. I want to thank everyone for hanging out in the chat tonight. It's always good to see.
Like,
Yeah, it was a little quiet tonight, but that's all right. After taking a week off, I expected it.
I didn't. I expected it to be fucking lit.
But I want to thank everyone who came
So
out
much
anyways
fun.
for hanging
Wear
out.
a shirt now.
Yeah. Guys, I can't stress it enough. Next week, 200th episode. It's actually our 421st episode, but it's the 200th episode of the flagship podcast that started all of this craziness in the Absolute Geek Podcast. So I try to do something special for it. We'll see what happens. Hopefully I can pull something out of a hat within the next couple of days. But definitely, guys, come check it out. 200th episode. It's a big milestone for us. We got that giveaway. Remember, dude, if you guys want to be, we'll release the giveaway information for that signed print from Neil Adams. We got the interview dropping next week. That's a big part of episode 200. That's why it's going to release in the morning, and we'll talk to Brian more in depth about the interview later that night and get his thoughts on some of the things Neil Adams said, and we'll go from there. But guys, I want to thank everyone again hanging out. If this is your first time finding us on YouTube, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. And next week, join in the chat. This is your first time listening to us on any of the audio platforms or podcasting platforms, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Always make sure to leave us a comment and a review. We definitely appreciate those. That goes a long way in helping our ratings in the algorithm. But for this week's episode of the Absolute Geek Podcast, I'm Matt.
I'm Jose's clicking keyboard.
I'm Brian.
And we'll see you guys next time.